Here with us today, honored to have Sheldon Croker. He's going to tell us about going from disability to disability. And Sheldon is an author and a speaker. He's the president of the Positive Thinkers Club of St. John's. Sounds like a club I would like to join. And I hope Sheldon also tells us about the club. So he's telling us his riveting personal story. So Sheldon, without further ado, please take it away.
Thank you so much, Rabbi. Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me here tonight. I was asked to come along to share a bit of my story. So as I was introduced, my name is Sheldon Crocker. I live here in St. John's. I was born after 36 long hours of labor. I must have known how cruel the world could be even back then. I didn't want to enter it. Arthrogryposis caused me to have a lack of muscular development, contracted joints, and an inability to crawl. I was bullied because I was the only one physically challenged there where I lived. Thus, I grew up way too soon. The only constant in my childhood was cassette tapes and computer games. I've learned to do things others take for granted, such as putting my shirt on in the morning, because I'm physically unable to raise my arms any higher than my chest. I was 4 years old when my babysitter sexually abused me. I felt so unimportant. I felt betrayed and cheated. Back then, doctors said I would never walk on my own, even though just 3 short years ago, I completed the Tele-10 race ahead of 29 other people. As a child, I wore braces on my legs and a bar between my shoes until I was grade 6. I learned to walk by sliding along the walls. The only way I could get down the stairs was to sit on my bum and pop me way down. My father would often say to me, "You'll never be anything besides a disabled welfare bum. I'd be better off if you were never born." At 6, I found the world mysterious. As a child, I kept to myself due to my appearance and the way we behaved behind closed doors. I was afraid the secret might slip out. In my childhood, I was known as the little disabled boy. The little disabled boy, everybody used to pat me on the head and say, nice boy, like just because I had a disability, like if I was a dog or something. I felt different and out of place. I simply never made lasting connections with kids my age. So I became a loner. And I started drinking at a very young age, 13. It didn't stop me from living, though. Every obstacle that I took on, I overcame. I was addicted and poor, living on the streets. My inability to cook for myself led me to consume only processed foods when I saved enough money to do so. I drank away all my savings, and I was homeless. No hot water, no heat. And I ate donuts off sidewalks before. I told myself that I had to be strong to survive. I even used to jump out in the ditch to hide away from my landlord because I already drank the rent money. I lived rough and by my wits. I lived on friends' floors. I was happy. I was miserable. But for me, addiction came unexpectedly. It wasn't as simple as you may think. Why do so many people keep doing it despite prison or death? My addiction was a result of trauma I experienced as a child, just like blood gushing from stab wounds. I changed people's views and the way they looked at things. I enrolled at Keene College. A flashlight was my only source of light when I ate canned turkey for Thanksgiving. I felt utterly lost. During this period, I also earned 2 college diplomas. Friends lost, but they weren't my friends anyway. I come to realize this lesson has made me stronger. I wasn't living, I just existed. I never asked, is this healthy, normal, or my fault? I simply worried a lot. Even after being absent from home for 25 years, I longed to return home. One weekend I did. I visited my grandmother and mostly spent the time at the house drinking. While I was there, she died in the house. I've lived with for many years with the guilt of not sharing time with her. I visited her grave many years later, and while kneeling by her tombstone, I spoke to her and asked her to guide me to sobriety. It felt like others doubted my abilities, so I felt the need to prove myself. I was tired of trying to be accepted and liked. There are some who refuse to accept that people with disabilities can succeed. We can set goals and grow anytime we choose. Goals don't define us. They can be whatever our pretty little heart desires. but you're going to need resilience, consistency, and drive to achieve your goals. Make sure your goals are the ones that you want, not goals other people think you should set. Sometimes we feel like we will never get back up. We will never overcome our obstacles. Quitting is always tempting. You will want to give up. I beg you all to stay strong. You will succeed. Have faith in yourself. Keep moving forward. We can learn from these obstacles. Something glorious awaits on the other side of this discomfort. Neither your family, nor your boss, nor your circumstances decide who you are. It's yours to own. Become comfortable with the unknown. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Living in the shadow isn't our job. Be visible. Show up for yourself. Stand up for your beliefs. It's up to you to show up for you. No matter how scary it is or what you don't want, turn up anyway. Your identity emerges as you survive, as we survive, and integrate each new connection. As part of the whole, we exist in faith. It can only be resolved by embracing love and empathy. By meditation and entering the present moment, we can learn that everything right now is as it should be. And any problems are only temporary. Talking about your own, like I talk about my own, help to make more space for positive thoughts. Your journey might push you beyond your comfort zone. I've stepped in my comfort zone a lot more than I ever have in the past. Life has given you strengths, given us all strengths. My determination and resilience are examples. Throughout my life, I have overcome addictions and lived to tell the tale. It is easy to cope when you have gratitude and compassion, two traits that I've had to pick up for myself over the years. We may be misunderstood if we don't follow the crowd. It's just a natural instinct. They might wonder why we're different. I've read a quote once before. It's getting angry with another person is like throwing hot coals with bare hands. Both people get burned. Despite my upbringing, I've accomplished so much. Life is precious. Don't rush it. Let your loved ones know you care. I grew up with a big heart, a commitment and loyalty to what I do because of the people who wronged me and the things I went through. Finally, I feel. Most of my life I felt like a robot. I wouldn't allow myself to have feelings. It is paramount that we learn more about ourselves and focus on our strengths. We can all stay on our healing walk with positive self-talk, which is what I learned from the Positive Thinkers Club. Let light shine through cracks. Life is created one step at a time, day after day, as a brick house is built brick by brick. We can grow significantly with the help of others. Our strength can come from the love we receive from friends, family, and supporters. All I ever heard my entire life growing up was criticism. My faith was dragging through the mud. I have the confidence to approach others now, because of which people are more open to me now. I feel at ease and comfortable. More than ever, I fought my way out of my shell. I used to joke around that my name is not really Sheldon, it's really Don, and I'm inside of a shell. So I've finally come out of my shell. I'm less harsh on myself now, and I laugh more. My emotions are calmer, and I'm more flexible. Counting my blessings changed my life. Believe this or not, my class actually voted me the Human Relations Award winner during my Dale Carnegie training. It's hard to believe a person who struggled with friendships as much as I did could win such a coveted award. Each diploma that I gain is my ignition key to keep going further, to drive myself further ahead. Dreams bring us to the corners of our hopes, to the windows of opportunity, and to the special place in our hearts. With a brain in our head and feet in our shoes, we can go wherever we choose. When people say I'm nothing disabled welfare bum, as my father did when I was growing up, I say, frig you. I'm a darn superstar because of everything I've overcome and everything I've accomplished. My heart believes we should all be treated equally. I had to persuade myself that positive things come to those who work at it, not those who wait, as the old saying goes. It's time to restore people's souls. It has empowered me to become the president of the Positive Thinkers Club. I feel less isolated as a result. It's opened up to me more opportunities and more people. Now I can access the community more confidently. The ultimate goal of young people with disabilities is to achieve the success that allowed them to grow and be independent. Fear limits us in our vision. It blinds us to opportunities. We can only fail if we never try. That's the only way any of us will fail. There's no such thing, really, I don't believe, as failure. It's just learning opportunities. The common theme is our inability to ask for help. I'm slowly building a life that I like, a plan to follow when things go dark. I don't always treat people right, but I try to. My education continues, and I am learning to survive, and this will continue. Because if we stay where we're we're not going to get further ahead. Talking about our weaknesses is actually a sign of strength. Being vulnerable with each other is also healing. Happy people make me happy. I love making people happy. That's what I do as a public speaker. I empower, inspire, and help other people to see that they can do things for themselves as well. If I can come from obstacles, so can you. I love inspiring others to overcome their trials and tribulations. It's the most fulfilling part of my life, actually, to help others. But it hasn't been easy. I am learning to cope, grow, and heal despite my challenges. Sometimes I ask myself, why? Why am I here? Still, I love my life and the people in it. One thing that depression does, which I did suffer with for many years, is make us believe lies, such as, I'm the worst at everything. No one likes me. I can't be happy, and so on. I'm sure most people have the same type of feelings at times. Yet there is always light and people to help you through the darkness. Whenever I was around others, I always felt so different. Without bicep muscles, which I literally do not have bicep muscles, being born without them, I had surgery to permanently bend one of my arms at the young age of 4 so that I can do such things that others take for granted, such as wash my face, brush my teeth. But like they say, every cloud has a silver lining. You just got to look for it. You just got to find it. Because no matter how negative things may be, there is always positivity as well. It's easier to see the negativity, but there is positivity. If we work hard, believe strongly, and control our emotions, we can change our lives. It's easier to complain about life's challenges than to look for the positives. Focusing on the planet's positives can contribute to our progress, which is what I've come to find out about myself. Never tell yourself you can't do something. Anything is possible. There's always a way. You might not be able to climb over the mountain. You might not be able to swim around it. But if you got to, you can dig a tunnel through it. You can walk around it. There's always a way to do things. I talk about this to spread positivity. My goal is to inspire others. Let's strive for more, all of us. There's always more that we can accomplish. There's always more we can do to help others. The next time we feel terrible or unhappy or whatever it is, do one thing we don't want to do, but it will help us feel better if we're having a down day or a down time. Such as even something so simple as having a shower, eat nutritiously, walk outside, even if it's just around the corner. Do yoga, stretch, and do guided meditations. Go to church. It's very simple things that could help us. And to know that this awful feeling won't last forever. It can get better. It can always get better. I know I never always believed that, but I do now. The battle is not ours alone. Be able to reach out and ask for help. There's no cure for mental illness. And I ask you all to share that sentiment that there is no cure for mental illness. What keeps me walking forward when I face obstacles? Try something new. Friends and neighbors who live with mental illness know who we are. They trust us. In order for parents not to feel defeated, it's our job to speak up. Self-care means being gentle with ourselves. I didn't need to add to depression's misery. Some days you can see the horizon. Other days you can't even see 5 feet in front of yourself. But I want you to know that the path is always there if you keep looking. I have to say, what a journey my life has been. If we didn't try something because others warned we would fail, or whether we didn't set goals because others said we would hurt ourselves, then nothing would ever get accomplished. I've stopped letting others dictate my life now that I believe in myself. It's that I have this ability to venture outside of my comfort zone. I have this ability to overcome obstacles and barriers. Can we grow, progress, and live if we don't leave our comfort zones? I don't think so. The key is setting attainable goals. Keep striving, keep living. Life is fascinating. It's an adventure. I ask you to live it. Let's break down barriers together. Let's find ways to give our lives meanings. We have been molded and encouraged to become better by our past. A life with purpose is focused and organized. Whatever we face today, tomorrow, next week, or even next year, we can overcome it. We can overcome any obstacle. Only we can stop ourselves. It's our choice to make. We can improve everything about ourselves by focusing on what we've achieved and what we've learned from mistakes, stumbles, and losses. Because yes, there are lessons to be learned in the losses. Developing self-awareness and self-appreciation helps us achieve our goals. Take time to reflect on your feelings. Being able to share our ideas makes us feel empowered and relaxed. Affirmations are helpful. Let's save ourselves day by day, little by little, taking care of our bodies. With courage, strength, determination, we can reach our goals. While it is important to walk down a path, the journey helps us climb higher mountains and attain more. Be gentle with ourselves. Many people don't put pressure on us and put us down and try to dull our sparkle. Don't worry. We are enough. Everyone gets to write their own story, not ours. No matter how fast or how slow we write, the end is what matters. Each of us is unique, yet equally created. We shine differently, but we are all the same. Persevere. People who are built for greatness and can overcome obstacles is who we are as people. Let your life be abundant every day. My knees buckle at nature's kindness and simplicity. I am learning how to give and receive equally without forcing it, being fresh, open, ready, and awake to the universe's unlimited power. Despite my fears, I'm going to let go and breathe. It is important for us to breathe, all of us. Knowing our fears, doubts, and limitations can help. Because I realize I can help others, my love is expanding. We all believe, live, and perceive differently. The differences are only physical. On a spiritual level, we are all one. In the full understanding of life and unity, rivalry disappears. We all have our stories to tell. Maybe one day we will. Through this relationship, we achieve deep empathy and love. Nothing is permanent. Like night turns into day, sadness and joy replace each other. Accept them as part of life and the nature of things. The universe shows us the highest honor when we accept grace. I will finish off by saying, from solitude into serenity, transforming fear into freedom. To come from disability to disability. How great it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheldon. This is excellent. I'm shaken by your story. It's amazing what you've overcome. Thank you for sharing it with us tonight. Are you up to taking some questions from the crowd? Okay. So I know I have questions, but I'll let others go ahead. If anybody has a question, you could just unmute yourself or raise your hand. Okay, Daniel, go ahead.
Yes, hi, and thank you for the presentation. I see the title. I think it's a book you wrote, I'm guessing.
Yes.
So I probably didn't hear the beginning of the presentation, the very beginning. But so now you're able to walk, and you weren't able before. Is that what it was?
The doctors told my parents that I would never walk, but I learned to walk.
How did you? I mean, it's something you learned about yourself?
I pretty much learned it on my own, just by placing my back up against the wall and sliding along.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. And how did you? I mean, you came from really a situation that was very, very difficult and I guess lonely, and today to a position where you're a public speaker. I mean, how did you get the that I don't know, inspiration that you decided to become a public speaker?
Well, that's a good question. I would have to say that the reason why I became the public speaker is because of the way I was upright. No, not upright. The way I was brought up, and feeling like I never ever had a voice, feeling like I wasn't seen or heard or important, and I didn't want anybody else to have to go through the things that I did. I didn't want no one else to suffer the way that I did. So I tell my story and help others to feel empowered, so that they feel like they have a voice, so that you don't have to go through depression and other things as well.
Okay. So you've done quite an accomplishment. Not everybody could have done. I mean, everybody can, but not everybody does, right?
Thank you.
And I like what you said during the presentation, that there's no cure for mental health. It doesn't get, maybe it does get a bit easier, but it's something that never ends.
That's right, it never does. And it's something that needs to be a continuous practice. Wake up every morning and say a few positive affirmations each morning. Even if you got to tell yourself each morning, I am powerful. I am able to conquer today. I am able to get out of bed today. Even if you got to tell yourself that over and over and over, it does work. You might have to do it a few times, but it's easier than not doing that.
Right on. Does anyone else want to say something to Sheldon? Ask a question before we wrap up? Okay, well, on behalf of the group, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
So thank you, Sheldon. Have a good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining. Shavua Tov. Have a good week.
Can I say one more thing, please?
Go ahead.
I don't like to publicize myself too much. If anyone is interested in my book, it is available on Amazon.ca or Amazon.com. And I can be found on Facebook if you know somebody who's looking for a speaker.
Okay, otherwise the guys can contact me and I could put you in touch with Sheldon. He was a pleasure to deal with and easy to arrange. Thank you so much, Sheldon. So have a good evening, everybody. Shavua Tov, and we'll see you.